We often speak of self-discipline as if it were a muscle, something to be strained and strengthened through sheer force of will. We envision individuals with an almost superhuman capacity to resist temptation, to adhere to rigorous schedules, to push through discomfort with an unwavering resolve that seems almost alien to the rest of us. We dissect their routines, marvel at their consistency, and perhaps even chastise ourselves for our perceived lack of this elusive quality. But what is this common understanding? This relentless focus on the power of self-discipline misses the far more fundamental why. What is the true engine driving consistent action? Isn't an iron will at all, but something far more primal, far more deeply ingrained in the fabric of our being. Consider the moments in your own life where you've exhibited what others might label as extraordinary self-discipline. Perhaps it was during a period of intense study for a crucial exam, the unwavering dedication to a creative project that consumed your every waking thought, or the resolute commitment to caring for a loved one through a prolonged illness. In those times, did you feel as though you were constantly battling against your own desires, perpetually teetering on the brink of giving in? Or was there a deeper current pulling you forward, a compelling sense of purpose that made the sacrifices feel less like burdens and more like necessary steps on a path you were compelled to follow? The truth, I believe, lies in this deeper current. Self-discipline, in its most potent and sustainable form, isn't the act of constant denial, the perpetual suppression of our immediate urges. Instead, it is a natural consequence, the outward manifestation of being utterly captivated by a girl, an aspiration, a vision that resonates so profoundly within us that the fleeting allure of instant gratification simply pales in comparison. It is when the why becomes so compelling, so deeply felt, that the how, the consistent effort, the delayed gratification, the willingness to endure discomfort emerges almost organically. Think of a marathon runner in the final miles of a grueling race. Their body screams for them to stop. Every muscle aches, and the temptation to simply collapse on the side of the road is immense. Yet they push onward. Is it solely through sheer willpower, a relentless internal drill sergeant barking orders? Perhaps in part, but more likely, it is the burning image of the finish line, the deeply personal significance of completing the race, the culmination of months of dedication, the desire to prove something to themselves or to others that fuels those final agonizing strides. The pain is still there, the temptation still present, but it is overshadowed by a more powerful, more deeply internalized desire. This is the essence of what I believe drives true self-discipline, a profound and unwavering connection to a greater why. When our aspirations are merely intellectual concepts, abstract notions of improvement or achievement, they lack the visceral power to consistently override the immediate demands of our desires. We may intellectually understand that exercise is good for us, that learning new skills can open doors, but without a deeper, more personal connection to the feeling of vitality, the experience of mastery, these intellectual acknowledgments remain fragile. In the face of temptation, it is through genuine experience, through the first-hand encounter with both the pain of lacking and the joy of attaining, that these abstract shows transform into deeply felt musts. The desperation of illness, the exhilaration of success, the profound satisfaction of contributing meaningfully. These are the experiences that hatch our aspirations into our very being, transforming them from distant ideals into urgent, internal imperatives. When this happens, the choices that once required immense willpower become almost effortless. The allure of the immediate fade in the face of a more compelling future, a future that we can almost taste, almost feel, because we have experienced its setbacks in our past. This isn't to say that willpower plays no role in the initial stages of pursuing a significant goal. When the rewards are still distant and the path ahead uncertain, a degree of conscious effort is undoubtedly required. But true sustainable self-discipline transcends this constant battle of wills. It arises when our aspirations become so deeply integrated into our sense of self, so inextricably linked to our values and our vision for our lives, that acting in alignment with them becomes a path of least resistance. Consider the artist who loses themselves in their work for hours, oblivious to hunger or fatigue. Are they exercising self-discipline in the traditional sense? Perhaps not consciously. They are simply so utterly absorbed, so deeply connected to the creative impulse, the desire to bring their vision into reality, that the needs of the moment fade into insignificance. Their discipline is a byproduct of their passion, a natural consequence of their deep engagement with something that truly matters to them. The key then lies not in endlessly trying to strengthen our willpower, but in diligently cultivating and connecting with these deeper hungers. What truly motivates you? What kind of life do you genuinely yearn to create? What values are so fundamental to your being that acting in accordance with them feels less like a chore and more like an expression of your authentic self? This process of uncovering our deeper why is not always easy. In a world saturated with external pressures and superficial desires, it can be challenging to discern our own genuine longing from the echoes of societal expectations. It requires introspection, a willingness to question our assumptions, and the courage to pursue paths that may not always be conventional or immediately understood by others, but the rewards of this in the exploration are immense. When we align our actions with our deepest aspirations, self-discipline ceases to be a constant struggle and transforms into a natural flow. The energy that was once consumed by resisting temptation is now liberated, fueling our progress towards our goals. We move with a sense of purpose, a quiet confidence that arises not from forced exertion, but from the unwavering conviction that we are moving in a direction that is truly meaningful to us. Furthermore, this understanding shifts our perspective on setbacks and challenges. When we are driven by a profound why, obstacles are no longer perceived as insurmountable roadblocks but rather as temporary detours or opportunities for growth along the path to a deeply valued destination. Our resilience strengthens, not through sheer stubbornness, but through the unwavering commitment to the underlying aspiration. The analogy of the billion-dollar contract is precisely because it instantly creates a compelling why. The reward is so significant, so life-altering, that the immediate discomfort of a year of discipline becomes inconsequential in comparison. This highlights the crucial role of perceived value. When we truly value the outcome of our efforts, the effort itself becomes more bearable, even enjoyable. The challenge then is to cultivate this sense of profound value for the goals that we know will lead to our long-term well-being and fulfillment, even when the immediate rewards are less tangible. This requires connecting with the feeling of success, the experience of growth, the sense of alignment that these actions will ultimately bring. It's not about suppressing our desires, but about strategically reprioritizing them in light of our deeper aspirations. The craving for a late-night snack might feel powerful in the moment, but when weighed against the deeper desire for a healthy, energetic body and the sense of self-mastery that comes with it, its allure can begin to fade. This isn't a battle of brute force, but a conscious realignment of values, a recognition of which desire ultimately serves a more significant and meaningful purpose in our lives. This understanding also sheds light on the seemingly effortless discipline of individuals who are deeply passionate about their pursuits. The musician who practices for hours on end, the scientist who dedicates years to a single line of research, the entrepreneur who pours their heart and soul into their venture. Their discipline isn't born of grim determination, but of an intrinsic love for what they do, a profound connection to the value they are creating, and a clear vision of the impact they wish to make. Their actions are fueled by an internal fire, a deep-seated why that makes the necessary sacrifices feel like acts of love, not acts of deprivation. Therefore, if you find yourself struggling with self-discipline, I urge you to look beyond the surface-level strategies and delve into the deeper currents of your own being. What truly matters to you? What kind of life do you genuinely desire to create? What are the values that resonate most deeply within your soul? By taking the time for this introspection, by consciously cultivating a connection to your most profound aspirations, you will begin to unlock a more sustainable and more powerful form of self-discipline. It will no longer be a constant battle against yourself, but a natural unfolding of your actions, in alignment with your deepest why. The journey may still have its challenges, but it will be a journey fueled by purpose, driven by passion, and ultimately far more fulfilling. The unseen engine of self-discipline isn't willpower. It's a profound and unwavering hunger for a life lived in accordance with our truest aspirations. And when that hunger is strong enough, the discipline will follow, not as a burden, but as a natural expression of our deepest selves.